Hi, my name is Dr. Uri Burstyn. I'm a veterinarian in Vancouver, BC, and I'd like to welcome you to my series of practical skills for pet owners. We're here today with Claudia. She's a little one-year-old girl cat, and we're going to have Mr. Pirate joining us a little bit later just to talk a little bit about proper cat handling. So it's going to be a fun little video. We're just going to talk about how to approach and handle a cat. You know, when I'm in clinics, I often see people walking around swinging their cat like this, and it really just kind of makes me cringe because that's not comfortable for the cat or that safe, to be honest with you. So I just want to kind of go over a little bit how to pick up a cat and different ways of managing them just to make your life a little bit easier. You know, when you're approaching a cat, it's nice to introduce yourself. You know, let them sniff your hand. Notice I keep my fingers curled a little bit. So if the cat doesn't really want my company, she can't really chomp me when my fingers are curled. So introduce yourself. Give them a little bit of a scratch just on the side of the face like that, or a little tickle under the chin. And there we go. We just made friends with this wonderful little cat. If you're just approaching a cat to just pat them and have fun with them, you have to remember that cats can spook very easily, so you do kind of want to take it easy with them. They're also much smaller than us, so a light touch typically pays off with a cat. You know, you can tickle them a little bit, stroke them, but most people try to pick up cats, and that's kind of where we get into trouble. So the key to picking up a cat safely is to make them feel supported. So I always pick up a cat with one hand under the chest, one hand under the abdomen, and then we can lift them up sort of even force gently, so they're not hanging down, they're not flopping about. That way they'll be comfortable, and also that way you'll be safe, because what happens when you have a cat swinging free in the air is they'll often start to scramble for purchase. Especially with their hind legs, they can do quite a bit of damage. I mean, and I've been scratched quite badly on my forearms just with a cat going for a little bit of a paddle with her legs and raking me. And this is quite common. It's probably the most common way people get scratched if their cat just feels insecure, tries to grab purchase, tries to scramble up onto something out of your hands, and that's when you get a little bit injured. And probably little kids swinging cats around can get a bit of strife that way. So just nice and supported, hold them up. And then if I need to carry a cat around, I usually just hold them close to my body. And again, I'm just squishing them into myself. Again, that way Claudia feels nice and supported. I'll put my hand out here for her to put her paws down. Then, you know, I can carry her around quite safely like this, and she won't want to get away. Now, if we do have a cat who's trying to get away from us, we always squish that cat. If you're trying to hold a cat down, whether it's to trim their nails or to give them a pill, or whether you just want to have a cat not run off for a moment, squish that cat. All you need to know about cat restraint is to squish that cat. They can feel very secure that way, and they generally, even if they're really scared, like sometimes cats come to me in the clinic and they're quite afraid, and you just gently squish them and they'll sit there and kind of not hurt themselves, not hurt us, just hang out and let us do our thing. If you have a towel handy, this is one of the best cat restraint tools around. You can always throw a towel on the cat, again, squish her with a towel. That way they won't get a claw into you if they are scrambling about a bit. Very safe and gentle, and generally cats are very, very happy to be squished like that. Now, if you have one other thing I want to show you with Claudia, hey darling, where are you going? Is a football carry. So this is kind of an emergency way if you really need to carry a cat somewhere in a hurry, and maybe there's not much time. What you can do is scoop her up, a little football carry, just like that. Her little head's under your arm, butt in your hand, and just squish her tight to your body. And with that little football carry, you can basically hold a cat very securely and very safely, because it's really hard for them to rake you with their hind legs if you're holding them like this. Just squish them really tight to your body. You don't have to worry about hurting a cat. They're very, very tough little beasts, and you know, just squishing them against your body is never going to do them any harm. In fact, they tend to feel more safe and secure when they're being held tightly. Now I'm just going to say goodbye to little Claudia and bring Mr. Pirate in, who's another cat, and show you some shoulder cat techniques. All right, so we're here with Mr. Pirate to demonstrate a behavior that I call shoulder cats. So Pirate is a shoulder cat. He loves being on shoulders. Some cats, this is their favorite position to be in. It's really convenient if you have a cat like that because they're really easy to carry around. But some people get put off by shoulder cats. So let me show you why. Come here. All right, Mr. Pirate. It's my handsome little, he's a 14-year-old boy. Very handsome, a little bit chubby. Quite beautiful though. Look at that face. Look at that face. So Notice, see how he tried to get up on my shoulder there for a second? So when we're hanging out with Pirate, his main goal is to get up on my shoulder. And that can be a little scary to people because if people are standoffish or if you understand what's going on, he could potentially scratch you because cats will naturally put their claws out to climb. So look at him. He's looking at my shoulder. All I have to do is lean down and he's going to scramble his way out. And a lot of cats are shoulder cats, and this is great. Sometimes you're going to be a little bit careful when a cat goes up on your shoulder because they can shoot off behind you and run off and give your back a bit of a scratch. Or sometimes they try to scramble around the back of your neck. But as I said before, squishing is your best friend when you're dealing with a cat. So you have a cat on your shoulder, you squish him nice and tight, and he's going to stay there. Now, if you're wearing a jumper or a hoodie, something like a thick jacket, cats can actually climb up on your shoulders and be really comfortable there. I've seen people walking around town with a cat in their hoodie. Usually it's a good idea to have a harness on them when you do that. But this is a really great way to carry a cat around. Now, not all cats go for this. Some cats simply don't like being on your shoulder, and that's okay. But if you do have a cat who insists on being lifted up, you basically just lean forward. Let me demonstrate that again. Oh, there it goes. Notice how, oh, I should show you how to put him down as well. But if you have a cat who wants to come up, you lean forward and he'll just put himself up and you just support his bottom. And there you have it. And when you try to put him down, often he won't want to. So you have two choices. One is just to lean back and they'll kind of leap off your back, not the safest thing. Two is to support your little cat and just lean forward, lean forward, lean forward, and eventually they'll right themselves and hang out. So that's how you deal with a shoulder cat. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like, feel free to share it, and just remember to have fun with your cat.